MHSAA on Pass is presented by Farm Bureau Insurance, proud sponsor of the MHSAA Scholar Athlete Award. By True Value Hardware, promoting good sportsmanship through the Good Sports Are Winners program. And by Tombstone Pizza.
Farm Bureau Insurance is proud to present the MHSAA on Pass Sports. From the Pontiac Silverdome, this is the Class CC Championship game in the 1995 Michigan High School Athletic Association football playoffs between the Eagles of Detroit St. Martin de Porres and the Cardinals of Whittemore Prescott. Hi again, everyone. I'm Rick Berkey along with Rob Rubik at the Silverdome. We get ready for the CC matchup, and if we got a couple of high-scoring ball clubs here. Whittemore Prescott up from the Mitten area of Michigan, scoring points left and right against Detroit St. Martin de Porres, also explosive. They're also here for a 15th time in the playoffs, more than any other school in the state of Michigan, Rob.
De Porres has great tradition, and they have a great program, and it's been developed over the years. That's why they end up coming back year after year.
We talked a little bit about the offense. The whole thing starts with the snap of the ball for Detroit St. Martin de Porres and quarterback Kevin Glenn.
Kevin presents a true double threat for Whittemore today. He passed for over 1,300 yards, rushed for over 250 yards. He's going to present twice the problem for Whittemore when they try to defend him.
You talk about Whittemore Prescott, the name Tom Tyson jumps out at you. Last year as a junior, he set the state single-season rushing record, and he just kept right on going, even though they moved him to fullback this year, Rob.
Yeah, he has a compliment with Rick Swanson at tailback, but Tom Tyson's the state's all-time leading scorer and ground gainer, Rick, and he's just going to pound it at De Porres today.
Boy, we should have a lot of points and a lot of fun. We're glad you joined us. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. One of your sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
In every corner of the state, Michigan folks receive a special kind of insurance help from Farm Bureau Insurance agents. Help when it counts. People talking with people, and that'll never change. Wherever you live, whatever your lifestyle, your Farm Bureau agent is near you and has one objective.
We're making your future more predictable. Farm Bureau Insurance. Farm Bureau Insurance.
At True Value, we've got all the decorations and gifts you'll need to get your home ready for the holidays. And anything else that might help.
Santa!
Give this Black & Decker Snake Light flashlight for just $24.88. It's the perfect hands-free work light. True Value. Christmas is just around the corner.
Blindfold, monsieur?
No.
Cigarette?
No.
What do you want on your tombstone?
Pepperoni and cheese.
Tombstone pizza, Pierre!
What do you want on your tombstone? Real meat, real cheese. Much better tasting than pizzas made with imitation cheese. So what do you want on your tombstone?
Napkin? No.
Along with Rob Rubik as the Cardinals of Whittemore Prescott will receive the opening kickoff. We get a look at how De Porres got here. And they had a tough game against this tough Detroit Dearborn-Fordson game to end the regular season, but then they rolled it in the playoffs. We see the Cardinals of Whittemore Prescott, and they've had a tough one against another northern foe, Negaunee.
Yeah, they also had a great game last weekend with Freeland. up at Saginaw Valley State, and they were able to hold on it and score at the end of the game to pull it out.
And here's our opening kickoff. It bumps off an up lineman and down right there at the 45-yard line. Falling on it was Brian Cunningham. A good reaction by Brian.
Yeah, that was a heads-up play by Brian. If he doesn't get that ball, that's a live football. As it bounced off his own player, DePorres could have come up with it.
We talked in the pregame about these two talented running backs, Tyson 44 and Swanson 42. And the defensive DePorres will have their hands full, but they've got some talent as well. Watch the linebacker, Byron Glaspie, number 41. On first down, this is Tyson right off the bat. And a nice gain off the right side of that offensive line into Eagle territory.
I was talking to Coach Tobin before the game. He said what they do is they line up in a basic split backs. They do a lot of motion out of it, Rick.
And we get a look at the officials. Referee Amerigo Zuccaro from Shelby Township. Hugh Jewell, Robert Williams, John Scott, and Donald Burke round out the crew. 2nd and 4 for Whittemore Prescott. Just underway here at the Silverdome. In motion goes Swanson. They stay with Tyson, who gets a couple. He'll be a couple yards shy after a good surge defensively by the Eagles. Craig Jackson.
Nothing fancy in the first couple plays for Whittemore. It's what you're going to see for the entire game. Is Coach Tobin also said, if you see the ball in the air, we're in big trouble, Red.
3rd down and 2. Both of these squads are young. Only 9 seniors for Whittemore Prescott on the roster and only 8 for DePorres. But you would not know it by the way they played this year. 3rd and 2. Again in motion, they'll go to Tyson. Spins from one man and picks up the first down.
Oh, that young man's a load, Rick. We talked about him in our pregame, and you saw some tremendous leg strength as he spun off a would-be tackler and got outside, picked up about 3 or 4 more yards. Here you see on the replay, they send it back in motion, they send the lead back to kick out, and right there he stopped, he spins, he gets wrapped up by number 88 for DePorres. I believe that's Aaron Brown, and it carries Aaron for about 3 more yards.
Our initial first down of the ball game. Out of the full house backfield, this is Swanson's first carry, and a flag comes in. The way that was thrown could be a holding penalty, Rob, against the Cardinals.
I think we may have holding on the right side of the Whittemore line here. That's what the call is. We got to look at there on that last play was the great speed you're going to see from the DePorres defense as well as their offense today. I think if Whittemore is going to be successful, Rick, they're going to have to keep it between the tackles with the big back. Here on the replay, they got the straight T, the power right, but you can see there's 4 or 5 Eagle defenders in the way, and Rick Swanson has nowhere to go.
You know, the first one to hit him there was Charles Pemberton, a freshman, Rob, and there are a number of freshmen for both squads, especially DePorres, that are key contributors to their success. So the future is now for both of these squads. After the march off, it's 1st and 20 as Swanson goes in motion. Craig Lumison on the run, and it's caught! Oh, nearly picked off, and Swanson on the tip drill went to his knees.
Well, Coach Tobin, here it is on the replay. Coach Tobin was almost a prophet on this. He said, we throw, we're in trouble. They try their first pass as Lumison rolls out. He tosses it up, and it's nearly picked off by 2 Eagle defenders. But Johnny on the spot was a Cardinal. Number 42 for Whittemore, that was Rick Swanson out of the backfield. He was the first back out. Sometimes it's good to be lucky as it is to be good, Rick. You have to be lucky in this game to have success.
2nd down and 11 as Swanson goes right. Going to the air again. Just out of the reach of Mo Sears. A correction, that's Tim Webb. Tim Webb, a 204-pound senior, number 80 there, and he's caught 7 passes for 163 yards and 2 touchdowns this year.
Some excellent coverage. As you see right here, the tight end starts running a fade down the sidelines. Lumison sets up, he throws it, but excellent coverage by John Shackelford. Right on him. Nice play by the official also. That was no contact, anything there was incidental. John Shackelford, a senior defensive back for DePore, sets up a 3rd and 11. This is not the situation Whittemore was trying to get into. They need 3rd and short so they can use their big back.
See if Craig Lumison goes to the air again. He's rolling, and he's going to be hit for a loss. That time, Charles Pemberton again. A fine defensive play in a punting situation.
Right here, it's a little bootleg. They pull the right guard. He fakes to Swanson going left, but once again, the speed and the great defensive quickness of DePore pays off and shows up on that last play. Number 51 for DePore. That was Charles Pemberton again, Rick, and we've already called his name a couple times.
Russ Wilson averaging 33 yards a punt, number 77 there. He has a 71-yard punt to his credit this year. He's got a couple of dangerous returnmen back there. John Shackelford and Marcus Hill. Oh, the snap over the head. And this is going to be trouble for the Cardinals. The Eagles pursue. The bad snap will give it to DePore in great field position.
Well, this is really tragic for Whittemore right now. They can't afford to give a short field to a skilled team like DePore. As you see right here, the snap is over his head. He tries to pick it up. He looks to get it off. But DePore was right there on the spot. Charles Pemberton again, number 51. Russ Wilson really, he does all he can do, but he's on an island right now.
Pretty good effort there by Wilson, almost coming up with it and getting that punt off, but he had no chance. And now we get a look at the strong offensive DePore. First down, Martez Johnson, the sophomore, who had a big game in the semifinals. Got a few off the left side before Rick Swanson wrapped him up. Martez Johnson, 876 yards for the season, 7.5 yards per carry.
They might be checking off at the line right here, Rick.
Kevin Glenn will keep it on the ground. I believe this is Michael Baldwin. That is Michael Baldwin, and he's the leading rusher for this team. Now they've got, do the Eagles, a great luxury, Rob, in that they can bring in Martez Johnson or Michael Baldwin at tailback.
Yeah, when we're looking through their stats, one has 870 yards and Baldwin has 883. So once again, they have so many weapons to hit you with. Sets up a 3rd and 3 or 4, the first big play of the game.
Plus the big man, Glaspie, the fullback in front. 3rd and 4. They'll keep it on the ground with Johnson, who's hit. Oh! Great effort by Johnson. He's going to be a little bit shy of the first down, but talk about 2nd and 3rd effort.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised. We're going to look here. We have great penetration in here, and we have, I believe that's Tyson, scrapes outside. He gets hit right in the backfield, but he keeps his feet. There was no whistle. Tyson fills the hole, along with number 74. Mike Gilho. They filled the hole and did a good job, a great balance.
And a whistle on 4th down, and oh, this could be a real big penalty against DePore. It was 4th down and just over a yard to go. And if it's a procedure call, which it could be, and is, that'll make it 4th and 6. Now, if you're wondering about a field goal, very unlikely for either of these squads. In fact, neither team has attempted a field goal all season long. In fact, they very rarely kick extra points.
Well, the thing is, Rick, I was going to say field goal, the way they score, they don't need to kick field goals. Both teams are so potent. There's extra points, a lot of times in the North Country, when the weather's bad, you go for 2.
4th down and 6. Let's see if Kevin Glenn puts it up. He will try.
He's got a lot of room.
Room to run.
He's going to go.
Kevin Glenn into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles.
Speed kills. Right there, you saw a great example of it. Whittemore had the play contained, but the speed of the quarterback and scrambling ability made a big play. You see right here, he sets up, he gets pressure, he's going to roll to the outside. I think Whittemore is bringing either Webb or Swanson inside on a blitz. Right there, you see Swanson come in, he gets picked up by the tailback, and right now, there's nothing. Outside, they're in man-to-man coverage, and number 22 for Whittemore, Prescott, Pete Skako just couldn't get to him.
So the Eagles will go for 2 here. Out of the full house for the first time, Al Chadwick is in the backfield. Instead, they'll stay with Martez Johnson, who gets in for 2. So it's 8-0 DePorres, and one of your sponsors is True Value Hardware.
At True Value, we've got all the decorations and gifts you'll need to get your home ready for the holidays. And anything else that might help.
Fanta!
This thermos quart steel bottle with bonus tape roll is only $18.99, or the Chicago Cutlery gift set just $9.99. True Value. Christmas is just around the corner.
Blindfold, monsieur?
No.
Cigarette?
No.
What do you want on your tombstone?
Pepperoni and cheese.
Tombstone pizza, Pierre!
What do you want on your tombstone? Real meat, real cheese, much better tasting than pizzas made with imitation cheese. So what do you want on your tombstone?
Napkin?
No.
We get a look again at the scoring play.
You see Glenn dropping back. Once again, they pick up Swanson on the blitz. Martez Johnson does a nice job. Glenn sees the opening. And right now, it's just, I'm a little bit faster than you to the end zone. As he turns the corner, and there's no one that can get to him, and he steps in. And
You mentioned...
well, we had the quick change turnover, and I talked to Coach Tobin before the game about quick change. He said that's what his team had to be ready for, because DePorres is a quick strike offense with so many weapons. See the scoring drive, 4 plays, 22 yards, 2 minutes and 24 seconds, a 20-yard run by Glenn. That's tough, Rick, when you hold him to a 4th down and you give up a big play like that.
Freshman Al Chadwick boots it away, this time off and up man. Finally taken back there by Lumison. He's hammered down across the 25.
A little bit of indecisiveness by Lumison that time. When he got the ball, he was waiting for his wedge to form. They waited a little bit too long, and pressure got him from the outside.
Clarence Sheldon Jr., number 7 there on the hit for the DePorres Eagles. And trailing for the first time today, Whittemore Prescott gets it back.
This is nothing new, though, in the playoffs, Rick. They've come from behind a couple times where they've gotten down. And even last week against Freeland scored late, but Whittemore was able to come back, sustain a drive, and score to end the game to win it.
They run out of the full house tee. Now they shift to the power I. Nowhere to go that time for Rick Swanson. Getting a fumble on the play, and
that's a little bit of an ad-lib there.
Actually, if he actually tried to keep it alive with a pitch.
That time, Whittemore lined up a little bit different. They have number 65, Brian Cunningham, in the backfield with them, trying to get a little bit extra beef up there with Tyson to lead for Swanson. Good penetration by number 88, Aaron Brown. And right in the end, we got a little bit, I don't want it, you take it. And he tried a little bit of an ad-lib on the play, but it wasn't successful. Sets up a 2nd and 18, and Whittemore's got to go north and south. Here you see, right in the end, Lumison gets the pitch from his tailback Swanson.
Timeout on the field by Whittemore Prescott. 7-0 in favor of DePorres. And
I think Coach has got to realize, Rick, he's got to take it north and south against the speed of the Eagles.
One of the state's great prep sports spectacles is the MHSAA Lower Peninsula Individual Wrestling Finals. This year, fans attending the Division I and II finals at the Kellogg Arena in Battle Creek and the Division III and IV finals at University Arena can order reserved seat tickets by mail. For an order form, write MHSAA 1019 Trowbridge Road, East Lansing 48823. Be sure to indicate which site you wish to attend when requesting an order form. After the timeout, the Eagles, Coach Greg Carter, huddling with his squad over there. DePorres under Coach Carter, it's his first full year. It's his 2nd year as head coach, of course, taking over for the late Ron Thompson, who's a legend in high school football coaching in the area.
Yeah, but what a program to take over, the way Coach Thompson has developed it over the years. It is one of the premier programs in the whole metropolitan Detroit area to play for. He gets kids from around the Detroit area, and it looks like he's done an excellent job with them. They look well disciplined so far.
Second and long, Lumison to the air. Looking for Tyson out of the backfield. Good double coverage that time by DePorres, Edgar Biddles, and Marcus Hill.
That time they line up Tyson wide and try to run the fade to him, but he's double covered. Lumison gives him a chance to go after it, but there was nothing there.
So third and long.
You see on this, I'm sorry, Rick, you see the straight drop again. The safety has a chance to come over. Actually ends up in a double coverage because there's only one receiver route, and that's hard to do because there's no one else for the defensive backs to pick up, so they all gang up on the one.
As you said, they didn't want to be in third and long, and this is third and real long. Just a hair short of 20 yards long. They'll keep it on the ground, and Swanson's got some room to run. Swanson with a first down on 3rd and 20 out to the 39-yard line. And the Cardinal fans have something to roar about.
We got just a little bit of a cross in the backfield here. I think you're going to see we'll go this way. He's going to come back behind it and get it. What the important part is when he gets right in here, one of the defensive back tries to strip the ball instead of just making the tackle. It's the first back. I'm sorry, the first back through right in here. Get a little bit of a try for a strip. Nothing happens right here. There it goes. He picks up an extra 5 or 6 yards. I think that was Charles Pemberton again.
Now on first down, Tyson. Again, about that dynamic duo, Tyson and Swanson. Tom Tyson, the all-time leading rusher and scorer in Michigan high school history. Number 44, this time 42 is Swanson, who's the tailback this year. And he rushed for over 1,400 yards coming into this one. So between the two of them, hard to imagine, Rob, two backs, 3,000 yards in the same season.
That's incredible. And what else you have number 65, Brian Cunningham, lining up in the backfield a lot. Like I said, you see him right here in the full house tee. He's the left halfback. It's coming this way.
This will be Tyson. He's got room to ramble. Nice open field tackle by Edgar Biddles, but not until Tom Tyson, the 5'11", 248-pounder, picks up 8.
They come on the full house tee. They motion the right halfback. They lead with Cunningham. And right now the 8 train's getting ahead of steam. And you don't want to let Tommy Tyson get ahead of steam coming at you at 250 pounds because your odds of taking him down are slim. Right here, he turns the corner, and he knows what he's got to do, get north and south. Number 2 for DePorres, Edgar Biddles comes up, does a nice job. There's Edgar, junior free safety. I don't think Edgar wants to see it a lot today, though. 44 running around the end wide open at him.
Whittemore Prescott averaging 35 points a game. On short yardage, they will not get it. Oh, big hit there by the Eagles. Willie Bargener.
Well, they line up in the T again. They shift back to the power I. And what they end up doing is right here, you see Swanson lines back up in the power I as a tailback. And I don't know if it was designed to go inside. Slight little bit of a hold there that they missed, but it ends up going outside, and you're not going to beat this team going east and west. Not the team with DePorres speeding.
4th down, 1.5 yards, and the Cardinals will go for it at their own 48. Swanson in motion. Little confusion. Tyson falls. He did not get it.
Oh, he's short.
The Eagle defense has held, and they will get the ball in Whittemore Prescott territory.
I don't even question Coach Tobin's feeling here. We see it line up. They motion the back. All it is, you get a little bit of a lead. Tyson gets it coming here. But the problem is right in here. There's some trouble with the exchange, Rick. And I think it just screws up the timing. Just right there, you see a little bit of a bump. Oh, we got penetration, too. A great job by number 44 for DePorres. That's Ed Liggins.
Just a sophomore, but again, there's so many impressive youngsters.
But once again, I was going to say, Rick, is why he's going for it. He knows that they're dangerous when they have the ball. He has to possess and control the ball.
Eagles get the ball back with that 7-0 lead. Sophomore Martez Johnson showing some of the breakaway speed. Not only has he picked up now over 900 yards for the season, averaging 7.5 yards per carry, but he's also a threat out of the backfield. where he's caught passes for 250 yards and 2 more scores.
Look at that. That's a very athletic move by Martez, getting over the would-be tackler who was down on the ground. He made a nice play getting outside.
Good look at Kevin Glenn, the junior. He keeps it on the ground, and there's a good pop by the defense of Prescott. They tried to go with freshman Al Chadwick there, and
I'll show you something here, Rick. The reason this play isn't successful is right here. You got the blitzing linebacker. He comes in here and he gets penetration. That's Brian Cunningham, I believe. You watch Brian, he gets into a gap, he takes on the lead back, Glaspie, and he slows it down enough for Webb to come in from the outside and make the play.
Timeout on the field with 5. Now that's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Eagles 7 and the Cardinals nothing. You're watching the MHSAA on Pass. Big play as we start the second quarter here at the Pontiac Silverdome. You see the DePorres Eagles on top 8-0. 3rd and 5 as Kevin Glenn looks over the defense. Big fullback Byron Glaspie races for the first down. Glaspie, who had a big game and 2 touchdowns in their semifinal win last week, finally tripped up by Sean Grote.
What you're going to see here is Glaspie lines up here. It's just a straight dive. We got influence this way, and it's just a quick hitter right up the middle. Once you split the defense on a 3rd down situation like that, where Whittemore walked up a lot of people, you're in trouble.
6'2", 240-pound senior Byron Glaspie gets the Eagles closer to their goal here on this drive. And that time they moved Glaspie to the tailback spot. First time we've seen that.
A little bit different wrinkle for the Eagles that time, lining Glaspie up at the tail. I don't know, at a 240 pounds, it's not a good feeling being a defensive lineman thinking he's coming at you with a 7-yard sprint.
Jason Richardson brought him down after a short gain, and it'll be 2nd 8 for DePorres. DePorres actually has picked up their offense. It was pretty impressive during the regular season, scoring 28 points a game, but they're averaging 33 points per contest in the playoffs so far. 2nd down, this is the freshman Al Chadwick. And did he fumble the ball? I believe he did, and the Cardinals have got it. Glaspie is injured for the Eagles, so a double dose of bad news for DePorres. The fumble, and now Byron Glaspie, a key performer on both sides of the line of scrimmage here, down with an injury for the time being.
It's just an outside handoff, and Chadwick shows some great quickness, but right at the end there you see the hits were actually stripped out of his hands. The guy's laying on the ground. Can you get a look at him here? It's stripped out right here is a great view. By number 1, that's Lumison, I believe.
Lumison forces it, and Sean Grote comes up with it, I believe.
There you see the ball loose.
Let's hope that Byron Glaspie can get back into action eventually here for DePorres. He's over on the sideline now for the Eagles, but the Cardinals dodge one bullet for the time being. This is Tyson. Tom Tyson, what an interesting, how often do you see a guy have a fabulous year as a tailback, set a state rushing record for one season, and then they move him to fullback the next year?
Well, here's a replay. They spread it out. They go to a solo offense where they have 3 wide receivers and only 1 back. Tom's the only one left in the backfield, and it's a give, just a straight dive ahead. And that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to show a bunch of different formations, a bunch of different motions, a bunch of different looks. They're going to give it to 44.
Biddles and Bargenier combine on the stop for the Eagles. Tyson the only back behind the quarterback, and he's got a first down near the 30.
He's got those big legs, Rick. They hit him in the thighs, and he just keeps, like a bulldozer, just keeps on moving. I just wonder how long they can work this kid. It seems like he carries every play, and it's going to be a long game, but we'll see what type of condition he's in.
Junior Courtney Benton brought him down that time for DePorres. There's a good look at Tom Tyson.
But they're going north and south, and that's what their offense needs to do on the field, not east and west.
They'll stay up the middle with Swanson this time, and Rick Swanson, number 42, had a huge game in the semis last week, and their victory, 219 yards and 3 touchdowns for Whittemore Prescott, who got by a very fine Freeland team in the semis in a wild one, 36-31. That's kind of the type of score that we were almost looking for in the final.
I don't think it'd be quite that high. If it is, I think Whittemore's in trouble. I think Whittemore's, it's going to be a little bit lower because they're going to try to control the clock.
Tyson plows for a couple more, and that time the defensive line of DePorres reacted quickly after the initial surge.
You got to believe Mr. Tyson's used to this, rushing for over 6,500 yards in his high school career. Obviously, he's had a ton of carries. The only problem is today is, he is going both ways, Rick, and some of these kids, they get in the dome here, it's a little bit, air's a little heavy for them this time of the year, and they end up fatiguing in the second half. We'll see how he holds out.
Craig Jackson in on the last stop for DePorres. Swanson runs wide. Great open field tackle by DePorres. Marcus Hill.
That's the speed of DePorres. Here it is. Tyson leading Swanson around the end. Tom takes out the lead defender, but right here, look at that, just great open field play by DePorres. And once again, I know I've said this a few times, Rick, but their speed is just phenomenal. That's why it's so hard to try to go wide on them.
There's a look there at Marcus Hill. He has returned, number 20, we just saw, he has returned, Rob, 5 kicks for touchdowns this year. 2 punts and 3 kickoffs.
Maybe snapping over the head might not be that bad after all.
Russ Wilson gets a good snap and a good foot onto it. John Shackelford on the run, fumbles the ball, and I think Marcus Hill fell on it. And there is a flag on the play as well.
We may have either a clip or legal block in the back, or pushing from behind.
30-yard kick by Wilson. And let's see if the illegal block, if that is the call, pushes the Eagles back. We're approaching the midway point of our second quarter.
See our officials discussing it.
While they've got a chance, we'll talk a little bit about Whittemore Prescott, Rob. Back in 1959, they consolidated Whittemore High School and Prescott High School to form Whittemore Prescott.
And Rick, do you know who the first football coach of Whittemore Prescott was?
How would I know that? I wasn't even born yet.
Yeah, right. The first football coach of Whittemore Prescott was Ken Fagan, who happens to be my father-in-law, and he kind of twisted my arm to put a plug in for him today, but they're bringing it back. I guess it was a pre-change of possession call, and maybe a first down for Whittemore.
It will be, I believe. Let's check it. They'll march it off. The offense is staying out there for the Cardinals.
There you see the fumble was recovered by Marcus Hill.
It's a big one.
It's a 15-yard penalty. If the penalty occurs, Rick, on a punt before the ball changes hands, then it's still the offensive ball, which would be Whittemore. Thus, the 15-yard penalty in the first down.
Well, this is 2 big breaks here, Rob, in the second quarter.
You're going to see right here, there's a clip of push in the back on Lumison coming down, and it was before the ball changed hands because of the miscue on the fielding the punt.
If the fumble does not occur, you're right there, it stays in the hands of DePorres. They just mark it back from that spot. Tyson hammered down at the line of scrimmage, but back to that point, Rob, 2 big breaks here for the Cardinals, who really need to cash in. Number 1, the turnover on the fumble recovery at the 20, and now after the punt, they keep the possession at midfield. But that time, Craig Jackson and Courtney Benton, a big stick defensively for the Eagles.
Well, I think DePorres is starting to figure this out a little bit. They're going to start keying Tyson. Not that they weren't going to key him coming in the game, but as much as he's been carrying the ball, they may assign an extra linebacker just to tackle him every single play and take their chances with Swanson.
A shift to the power I. Swanson looks for running room, and it's not there. Boy, strung out well defensively by Byron Glaspie, and good to see 41, or was it 44 that time?
Rick, right here you're going to see, if we get a look at it, yeah, we can freeze it right here. DePorres is starting to overload to number 65, Brian Cunningham, who's the power back in the I, and they're starting to overload their defense to the power side because so far Whittemore has run to that side every single time.
You think they're doing that just to set up a counter?
Well, I think they're doing it because that's their offense, but by doing so, it will set up a counter, and let's see if Coach Tobin has that in his arsenal.
3rd and long. Same shift again there.
There it is, Rick. Oh, you're a genius.
Swanson will get about 6, but it's still going to be 4th and 4, Rob.
Well, Coach Berkey, that's an excellent job. We pointed out in the power I how they've been running to it every time, and sure as we said it, they run the counter, the cross off it to the tailback.
What do they say about a blind squirrel?
Yeah, every now and then. Right here, you have the cross, the trap, nice trap block. Swanson takes it up.
4th and 4, though, here.
I think they're going to punt. I see 77 for Whittemore Prescott. That'd be Russ Wilson, the punter.
Not a bad move. If they get a decent punt off here, Rob, even if they don't cash in on the opportunities, but they could have a chance to pin DePorres back. But don't forget the dangerous guys back there. Marcus Hill, number 20, and Shackelford, number 8. There's your strong kick. Hill will go back on the 1 and field it.
He should be down right there, Rick. You can't, I think our officials may have missed it. You cannot step across the plane in high school. I don't want to point at our officials because they're a fine crew, but we get a look at the replay. I think he goes into the end zone. And in high school, when you cross the plane,
what if you catch it though on the 1? I think, you know, if you catch it on the 1 and then go back in, I think you can come out.
Possibly. Obviously that is the rule. Also, it would be marked on the 20 because the officials know a lot more than I do. Because he steps into the end zone and then he does return it out.
He gets it out 18 yards. Marcus Hill, we mentioned, with 5 kick returns for a score, he's going to take every chance he can to get his hands on the pigskin there. 1st and 10 for DePorres with that 8-0 lead. Fullback Glaspie is back in there now, so Byron Glaspie just about 8 yards a carry for number 41 this year. You don't see too many 240-pounders averaging 8 yards per tote.
You don't see a lot of 240-pounders with that type of quickness either, Rick. I got to believe Byron has a future ahead of him after high school playing football also.
There's a good look on the bench there of Marcus Hill. Outstanding senior season for the Eagles for number 20. Off the right side for a couple, but the Prescott defense that time closed up. Whittemore Prescott. Jason Richardson, the senior, made the hit.
I think you're going to see DePorres put the ball in the air here. They need to. There's only, actually, the clock's only 3.5 minutes left in the half, so they're going to have to start thinking about getting the ball down the field a little bit. With the speed of their backs, sometimes if they can pop a run, it's just as good as a pass.
Staying in the full house tee. Glenn gives to Johnson and nowhere to go here. He got a couple. We're winding down here on 3 minutes to go in the half, and a punting situation for the first time. Let's see if the Cardinals stop the clock. They do not. They want to preserve their timeouts for offense. They have 2 left. Terrence Holland, number 26, will punt it away. He's averaged number 36, or 26 rather, has averaged 39 yards a kick this year, and he has one for 77 yards. Craig Lumison back to receive. Left foots it.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Lumison, the fair catch at the 33-yard line. Terrence Holland showed that 77-yard boot was no fluke. Boy, did he hit that one.
Oh, it turned over nicely for him. What a very opportune time to get a punt like that. No return that pushes Whittemore. Here's Terrence.
43 yards on the kick.
Good fundamentals, takes his time, gets a good drop. Good extension. Look at the leg kick. Great job by Terrence.
Let me correct myself. 39 yards on the kick. Whatever, it was a heck of a kick with no return. And now with 2:23 showing, Cardinals will try to get on the board. Swanson, there's nothing there, the initial direction on that play, so he shifted, but there was plenty of pursuit help for the Eagles.
Rick, even though it's 8-0 Eagles right now, I think Coach Tobin's happy. You know why? This game has gone so quick, and he wanted to make it a fast game. He wanted the clock, take the clock, and get it running as quick as he can. He's 8-0 before may go into halftime content, and hopefully he can make some big plays in the second half. But this is what he wanted to do. He didn't want it to be a long game with a lot of passing and a wide open type of football.
See if Lumison puts the ball in the air or not. He will keep it on the bootleg. Lumison run out of bounds near the 35-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and long for the Cardinals.
This is just a fake inside. It's really a quarterback power sweep. There was no pass at all. There was no routes in the pattern. Lumison the whole entire time was going to run it. A good job once again. Here, good look at number 44. I believe that's Ed Liggins. Look at Ed. That's just tremendous pursuit and effort. He was there if needed.
A lot of players would have just coasted at that point when they said.
And that's what Rick. And that's what college coaches look for. That type of effort from high school kids when they're recruiting.
3rd and 8. Swanson goes right. Quick pop pass over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Tim Webb.
It was open.
The senior tight end, who has caught 2 touchdown passes this year, just wasn't quite tall enough as he stretched out for the pass from Lumison. And this will be a punting situation for the Cardinals with 1:33 in the first half.
This is a big play right now with the type of speed we have in the deep return men for DePores. Whittemore needs a good kick to keep it out of their hands and good coverage. We're still with 1.5 minutes to go.
Shackelford back there with Marcus Hill. Shackelford has also returned a punt this year for a touchdown. So
who do you kick it?
Yeah. Good, strong kick by Russ Wilson. This is Shackelford back at the 25. Looks for the wall. Nice spin move and a nice return out near the 40-yard line by John Shackelford. Rick Swanson finally ran him out of bounds, but number 8 for a 38-yard punt.
Take a look at it. Lumison was the quarterback as the first one down, who's on the punt team. And he really does a nice job slowing things down. Now, right now, Shackelford with just good vision and good speed picks up an extra 10 to 12 yards before Swanson cleans up on it.
Minute 19 to go. Eagles could put it up here and do. Or they're going to try to at least. Just getting it away, and it's incomplete. Oh.
I tell you what, Rick Swanson right now is going to have a talk with Tim Webb because Tim Webb just takes the interception away. We're going to look at the replay. What makes this is backside pressure. There's Tommy Tyson coming up the middle. He's picked up by Glaspie. Brian Cunningham on the backside. But look at right here. Swanson's going to catch it, and Webb knocks it away.
Jason Richardson lowered the boom on Kevin Glenn here. Look at 55. Ho, ho.
I think that might be, is that 55 or 60? It might be Brian Cunningham.
So 2nd and 10. Some substitutions. Out of the straight eye again. Glenn will try to throw it.
Screen.
Set up over on the right side for Baldwin. Michael Baldwin stepping out of bounds. Good effort by Michael Baldwin, the junior, who rushed for 883 yards coming into this one. And watch the screen, well set up here by the Eagles.
Here it is. The linemen let the Whittemore defenders come in. They all head out to the right. Good job by Cunningham trying to chase down. He picks up a nice block there. And Webb was able to knock him out of bounds.
Boy, great spin there by Baldwin. Yeah. Almost. I mean, he did stay on his feet, but he almost stayed in bounds as well.
I'm having a hard time with these backs for DePorres. They have so many good ones, Rick. It seems like they just put one number in after another, and they all have excellent speed.
1:04 to go. Glenn again. Tells his man to go long, and then he hits him. All the way down inside the 30-yard line. This is Terrence Holland, the senior.
That's just great athleticism by Glenn. The pressure's coming from the backside. He sets up, and right now you're going to see it. Here comes from the backside. He just goes out to the right. What poise. Sends his receiver deep, just lofts it over the defender. Excellent poise, and a nice play by Terrence.
Terrence averaged just under 20 yards per reception this year, and 6 scores. We'll have a timeout on the field, and one of your sponsors is Tombstone Pizza.
Blindfold, monsieur?
No.
Cigarette?
No.
What do you want on your tombstone?
Pepperoni and cheese.
Tombstone Pizza, Pierre!
What do you want on your tombstone? Real meat, real cheese, much better tasting than pizzas made with imitation cheese. So what do you want on your tombstone?
Napkin?
No.
In every corner of the state, Michigan folks receive a special kind of insurance help from Farm Bureau insurance agents. Help when it counts. People talking with people, and that'll never change. Wherever you live, whatever your lifestyle, your Farm Bureau agent is near you and has one objective.
We're making your future more predictable. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Farm Bureau Insurance.
55 seconds showing on the clock. We look again at the athleticism of Kevin Glenn.
Here it is, the pressure. Once again, Kevin steps outside. What I'm even more impressed is, look at his presence on the field. He waves his receiver to go deep, to get behind the defender, puts a nice touch on the ball, and I believe that was Terrence Holland made a nice play. Here it is again. Mr. Glenn's going to have a highlight film from this one play.
Glenn will try to set up the screen again, and it's not there. He's going to make something happen on his own. It'll be a loss of about 3 or 4, but Kevin Glenn runs backwards.
He runs backwards about 25, then runs ahead 30. And I think Terrence, when he sees this replay, when they watch a game film, he's going to give Michael Baldwin a little bit extra in his paycheck, because at the very end, Tom Tyson, here he is coming down the sideline, has him lined up in his sights, and right there, at the very end, you see Baldwin peel Tyson off.
Clock stops with 46 seconds. Every play on this drive, Rob, the Eagles have gotten out of bounds.
They're getting out of bounds, but one thing for Whittemore is they're getting pressure. They're getting a good rush up front.
That time Molina almost got the sack for the Cardinals. Glenn, deep sideline, incomplete. I'm not sure if he overthrew Al Chadwick or underthrew Terrence Holland.
Yeah, it was good coverage. Lumison was there. Along with, he was looking, like you said, for Chadwick and Holland. They were both in the same area, and sometimes on a pass pattern, that's someone's running the wrong one. Geez, sound like Elmer Fudd here. The wrong one, Rick. Because the receivers need to be spread in the secondary, not clumped together where one defender can cover 2 receivers.
3rd down and 13 for DePorres with the 8-0 lead. Again, the clock stops with 39 seconds showing. Glenn looks left, goes long, and it's caught. 1st and goal. Otto Stallworth just into the lineup. Well, that's Terriman Johnson. We have 2 17s on the roster.
Geez, this is a great play by the offense, really, and the defense. Sean Grote is a defender here. The ball is there, and Sean is, oh, I'm sorry, that was number 22. That wasn't Sean. That was Pete Skako, was right there. He's just a little bit short. That looked like Herman Moore against Tyrell Buckley there. He just goes up over the top. No interference, just an athletic play.
Sophomore Terriman Johnson leaped high, as you said, a la Herman Moore.
Close-up of Terriman. A nice play, Rick. And like I said, you can't fault Whittemore because Pete Skako was right there as a defender. It's just sometimes certain athletes' physical attributes take over. Here's Coach, is that Coach Tobin? I can't tell. We got maybe the defensive coordinator for Whittemore is out on the field with his defense trying to get them excited here and get them pumped up because it's an 8-0 game. This is going to be a big stand. First and goal on the 3-yard line.
After the timeout by the Eagles, school board says they have 2 left, but I think it might be just 1. Out of the full house backfield, they will go to Glaspie, and he's not going to get in. In fact, he's going to lose yardage. Eagles call a timeout. The DePorres program, we mentioned, 15 playoff appearances, more than any other team in the state of Michigan. This time stacked up at the line. Leading the rush there, Tom Tyson, the versatile two-way man.
Here we get isolation on Tim Webb. He comes in, he gets penetration, he helps get in on the tackle. But the young man laying on the floor, Tom Tyson, with his helmet off, was the first to get there. He got low underneath the offensive line, got penetration, and tripped up Glaspie before he could get ahead of steam. And Tim Webb, the senior outside linebacker, was there to clean up.
Mentioned the DePorres program, of course. This is their first full year under head coach Greg Carter. It's his second season, his first full season, and he's done a heck of a job. The Eagles program, as we said, was strong already, but he's kept them strong.
Yeah, I think if you're DePorres right now, you might be thinking wide, using the athleticism of Glenn to get him outside, give him a little run-pass option, or get the ball into maybe one of your fast running backs, possibly bring Chadwick in from a flanker, line him up at a half or something to get him going wide to the outside and utilize your team's speed. It's actually just the opposite of Whittemore needs to. They need to pound it inside. DePorres can use their speed to get outside offensively.
Remember, quarterback Kevin Glenn has rushed for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns this year, as well as thrown the ball well. Glenn will keep it on the bootleg. And he's going to lose a yard. Now a timeout, and this is the final TO for DePorres. That time, Tim Webb. And
what you see in the replay, this is a quarterback keeper all the way. He rolls out. There's no one in the pattern once again, so this is a true keep boot. And Tim Webb, there he is, making a great play. He has contained. There was nowhere. They wanted to go wide. They wanted to get the lead backs to seal everything in. It was strung out so well. Here you see Tim Webb. There's Baldwin trying to get to him, but Lamison is even outside too. Look at the pursuit of the Whittemore defense. That's just excellent defensive play.
Tim Webb, number 80, in on the tackle there. Boy, he's not only the cornerstone on defense, Rob, he has a 3.85 grade point average.
That's something that's a credit to the young man. Rick, we have 3rd down. Right now, DePorres is a little bit handcuffed. They almost need to pass. Because if you run the ball and you come up short, I don't believe you're going to have time with 17 seconds and no timeouts to get another play.
Remember, as we said, neither team likes to attempt a place kick.
You may see a similar type of plays we just saw, something rolling out, but this time with a pass option. On the last play, there was no pass option. There was no receiver in the pattern, so it was a run all the way. This time, maybe they'll try to drag a tight end underneath and give Glenn a chance to throw the ball as well as run.
If they keep the ball in play and don't get in, they'll have to really hustle to get the final play off. You see, they've moved it forward. They're knocking on the door, but the Prescott defense has held so far. Touchdown to DePorres. Terrence Holland on a strike from Kevin Glenn. And the Eagles have scored again.
Well, they just come out in a pro-eye set that time, Rick. You take a look at it. That's nothing but a slant to the. He looks it off nice. So see Glenn. He looked to the right. He comes back in. He actually throws behind the linebacker Swanson. Just well-executed play.
Well, I tell you, that's a junior back there looking right and then left and firing a strike over the middle. Eagles will go for 2 with Michael Baldwin in the backfield again now. Glenn wants to throw it. He doesn't get a chance. Great effort by both Glenn and Holland, but they'll rule him down correctly. Rick Swanson brought him down.
Looked like Randall Cunningham there. On his back, he threw the ball, and it was almost completed.
And Terrence Holland, a great effort, almost with a circus catch.
Okay, take a look here, Rick. It's a straight drop, but he looks to the right, which moves this guy. It holds the safety. Swanson actually steps this way, but then he works back to the outside, and he's going to throw the slant right in underneath it. When he looks, Swanson goes a little bit too far and opens up the hole behind him.
Well, that is pretty smooth for a quarterback at any level. And then you're talking again an underclassman.
Look at this. Oh, here's the one. Oh, his knee was down. An excellent job by our officials.
So with 11 seconds to go, DeForest leads 14-0. I'm sure they'll attempt a squib kick. Time management, again, we mentioned the first 5 plays. The Eagles got out of bounds, saving the timeouts, which they needed in the final few plays.
Yeah, they've done a good job. It's really been a well-played half by both teams. The main factor right now, I think, is just the overall team speed of DePores, which enables them. Glenn is buying himself a little bit extra time in the pocket, and it gives his receivers longer time to get open. And defensively, Whittemore's limited pretty much to run between the tackles, because anything wide gets ran down.
Freshman Al Chadwick, number 6, will boot it away, but I don't think the deep men there will receive the kick. You look at Swanson, but I don't. They're going to do a squib kick over to the other sideline. It goes out of bounds. And the Cardinals will get the ball at the 40-yard line by rule.
Well, I think Whittemore
make that 35. Yeah. My apologies.
I got a feeling he'll either just run a dive or just take a knee here, and not chance throwing an interception or a play that would put him enable DePores to come and score on an interception return. Go in. It's 14-0 right now. He's still very competitive. He's in the game. Him being Coach Tobin, and his kids have played real hard and real well the first half, and so has DePores. Although he runs a spread formation, shows you what I know, Rick. There's Tyson White to the left.
And they may still go up the middle here. Instead, Lumison wants to go long. Looking down the sideline for Mo Sears, incomplete, but a penalty flag. 5 seconds showing on the clock. Now this appears to be an interference penalty, and that's good for Whittemore Prescott, but remember in high school ball, you do not get the penalty at the spot of the foul. It'll be 15 yards from the line of scrimmage.
That's a good point. Once again, Coach Tobin surprises me. He comes out, he runs a spread formation, splits Tyson out to the left and Webb to the right, and he just throws the fade, and the safety for DePores almost gets over. Here you see Lumison dropping back. Some inside pressure. He throws the ball, and right at the tail end, the safety's coming over, almost intercepted, but there was a little bit of bumping going on prior to that. As you can see the flag already coming out.
If there is not a penalty on this one, this will be the final play of the first half, and we see trips left. 3 wide receivers you see going to the left sideline for Whittemore Prescott. Lumison will try to get it as far down the field as he can, and it's tipped and incomplete. And that ends our first half. An exciting first half. The DeForest Eagles will go to the locker room with a 14-0 advantage, and you are watching the MHSAA on Pass.
The MHSAA on Pass is presented by Farm Bureau Insurance, proud sponsor of the MHSAA Scholar Athlete Award. By True Value Hardware, promoting good sportsmanship through the Good Sports Are Winners program. And by Tombstone Pizza.
St. Martin de Porres with a 14-0 lead over the Cardinals of Whittemore Prescott. One touchdown in each period so far for the Eagles. In the first quarter, a 20-yard dash by Kevin Glenn. And then Martez Johnson with a run conversion made it 8-0. Then in the second period, just 11 seconds showing on the clock. And Terrence Holland on a touchdown pass from Kevin Glenn. The conversion failed, but the Eagles have a 14-0 lead at the intermission. Stay with us. One of your sponsors is True Value Hardware.
At True Value, we've got all the decorations and gifts you'll need to get your home ready for the holidays. And anything else that might help.
Santa!
Give this Black & Decker Snake Light flashlight for just $24.88. It's the perfect hands-free work light. True Value. Christmas is just around the corner.
Blindfold, monsieur?
No.
Cigarette?
No.
What do you want on your tombstone?
Pepperoni and cheese.
Tombstone Pizza, Pierre!
What do you want on your tombstone? Real meat, real cheese, much better tasting than pizzas made with imitation cheese. So what do you want on your tombstone?
Napkin?
No.
Whether they live on the farm, in the country, the suburbs, or downtown, Farm Bureau Insurance serves them all. Life, home, retirement, auto, business.
We're making your future more predictable. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Farm Bureau Insurance. Satisfaction guaranteed. That's what you get when you stay at the Drury Inn, home of the free Quick Start breakfast, pastries, coffee, juices, and more. At Drury Inn, your comfort is important. That's why we offer a variety of amenities. We're your home away from home. Conveniently located near the action of the Pontiac Silverdome and the Palace of Auburn Hills, the Drury Inn welcomes the MHSAA 1994 football finals. The Drury Inn, you expect satisfaction and you get it.
Detroit St. Martin de Porres with a 14-0 lead at halftime here, the Class CC Championship game. We're joined now by MHSAA Assistant Director and Supervisor of Officials, Bill Bupp, talking a little bit about the Legacy program, where youngsters in high school get a chance to get officiating experience. And first, Bill, tell us how someone gets involved in the Legacy program.
Well, we look for seniors who have an interest in sports officiating. They find a mentor, or a mentor seeks them out. A mentor is an experienced active official who will work with them during 7th and 8th grade contests that they might officiate. They register the same as any other official with some cost savings. The point is we want to get the kids involved, give them an opportunity to learn on the job as an apprentice, and prepare them for an opportunity to officiate for a long career.
What if you have a mentor looking for a student, or a student for a mentor? How do they get together?
Well, if a mentor is looking for a student, a very simple issue is to go to a local high school and seek one out. Ask a coach who has knowledge of kids, some who might be interested in officiating after they leave high school. If you happen to be an athlete, a young student looking for a mentor, a contact to our office or in a local association in the area will find that mentor for you.
You know, it's a great way to get started, and a lot of students carry on into college and make a great job. And the part-time, we had a feature on Zach Kemp from Greenville, who went on. He's playing football at Western Michigan University and continues to officiate.
We have several of our students, more than 50% of those who participated have been continuing as officials into their college days and are active right now. So we're really happy about the progress.
Outside of Legacy program, of course, there's always a need for more officials across the state.
We have over 11,000 officials now in the state of Michigan. We need more and more. As we add programs, as we have grown in girls athletics, boys athletics have grown, it's been very important. If we have people out there who are interested in giving something back, staying healthy and active and being with lots of kids and having a fresh, good time, that we need them as officials, and they can contact us and we'll help them get started.
And if you don't know who to contact your local school athletic director, and they'll help you get ready to officiate and help out high school sports. Stay with us. We're at the half. One of your sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
In every corner of the state, Michigan folks receive a special kind of insurance help from Farm Bureau Insurance agents. Help when it counts. People talking with people, and that'll never change. Wherever you live, whatever your lifestyle, your Farm Bureau agent is near you and has one objective.
We're making your future more predictable. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Farm Bureau Insurance.
At True Value, we've got all the decorations and gifts you'll need to get your home ready for the holidays. And anything else that might help.
Santa!
This thermos quart steel bottle with bonus tape roll is only $18.99, or the Chicago Cutlery gift set just $9.99. True Value. Christmas is just around the corner.
Come home to the Hilton Suites of Auburn Hills and enjoy the peaceful, quiet elegance and the warmth of our cozy lobby. You'll feel right at home within the confines of a large living room, a separate bedroom with a king-size bed, plus other comfortable amenities. Be it business or pleasure, come home to the Hilton Suites of Auburn Hills, located across from the Pontiac Silverdome.
You see the Eagles with a 14-0 lead. The Class C state double C make that state championship. And Rob Rubik, first let's look at the touchdown by Kevin Glenn back in the first quarter.
Well, this once again we saw earlier. Kevin drops back, he gets some pressure. He's looking to throw downfield, and he sees the opening, and no indecisiveness whatsoever. He just takes off. Once he gets to turn it up on about the 20, 15-yard line, and he sees the stakes at the corner of the end zone, he just uses his speed to outrun the defender.
I don't know if the slow motion allows us to appreciate that cut. He made it such a fast speed, and then they went for two, and Martez Johnson gets in to make it 8-0 Eagles.
Yeah, it was well blocked. He had Al Chadwick out there leading in front of him, and Martez did a nice job following his blockers.
Then again, we see the brilliance of Mr. Glenn as Kevin looks right, then left, and then fires it over the middle to Terrence Holland.
Yeah, Terrence ran a slant, he got in behind the defenders, and it was 14-0.
We take a look at the numbers, and if there's one that surprises us, Rob, it would be right here. 16 yards rushing for Whittemore Prescott, who has two guys with over 3,000 yards this year.
Yeah, it's kind of a shock, but then again, I don't think Whittemore has played the type of competition that they're playing today, and that's nothing to slight their schedule whatsoever, Rick.
14-0. It's not desperation time yet for Whittemore Prescott, but you've got to think they've got to think about doing some things different than we saw in the first half.
Yeah, they do, but talking to Coach Tobin, he says there's not a lot they can do. They're not a passing team. They do not want to pass the ball. So you're going to see them come out and try to pound it some more.
As a coach, what do you do in that situation? As far as you go through the year, you have such success on the ground, you're not put in a situation to throw the ball, so you really don't get a chance to do that.
I know, and the problem is when you're pounding the ball at teams all year and have success running it, you don't incorporate a passing game, but if your goal is to win the state championship, as Whittemore's was, you need to put that in, so when you start playing the DePores, the Naganis, the Freelands, you do have a passing attack too.
Well, so far, the story, we talked about offense, but it's the Detroit St. Martin DePores defense that has been the story in this one. So stay with us for the second half. You're watching the MHSAA on Pass. Moments away from the start of the second half. The Eagles of DePorus, Cardinals of Whittemore Prescott. One half of football left in the entire season in Class Double C. These two teams, of course, Outstanding representatives. Here's the play we talked about. We got a clarification on the official ruling, Rob.
Yeah, once again, Rick, I was wrong, and the officials came and clarified the momentum of the ball took the return man into the end zone on a punt. He is more... I'm sorry, yeah, right here it is. Yeah, we get another look. When the momentum of the ball takes you into the end zone, we got clarification from our officials upstairs here. You're very able to take it out and run it out, just do what you want. And I said that I thought when it broke the plane of the ball, it was dead. But once again, like I said, Rick, I was wrong, and it should be kudos to our officials on the field, and thanks to the officials upstairs for coming and clarifying that for the people. Because, like myself, as I made the incorrect call, a lot of times people in the stands make the incorrect call and get on the officials, and these high school officials do an excellent job, and that's why they're here today. These are the best in the state.
DePorres will get the football to start the second half. John Kosciuszko will kick it off. Kosciuszko.
God bless you.
Don't ask me to spell it, folks. It took me all week to learn how to say it.
And just to clarify once again, I was told to say that by Mr. Berkey.
John Shackelford, Michael Baldwin, and Marcus Hill, number 20. Again, he's returned 3 kickoffs for touchdowns in the middle there. That's the guy the Eagles want to get with the football. And he'll get the chance right at the 20. Look at the speed of Marcus Hill. And he's out across the 40. We see that his return average of 22 yards certainly deserving, because that's about exactly what he got with that one.
Well, DePorres is going to start with excellent field position in the second half. There's Marcus receiving it, and it's got, I think it's a right return set up. He gets to the outside, picks up some good blocking, returns it to the 42-yard line where DePorres will start, trying to add to the 14-0 lead.
So they break out of it. Terrence Holland and Al Chadwick both split out to the right on the short side of the field. DePorres had good success with that I formation in that second quarter. They stay in it. Johnson stacked up at the line.
That time they bring Al Webb into motion. They use him as a wham blocker to lead the play. But Tim Webb stepped underneath the block and was able to make the play for only a 2-yard gain.
A wham blocker? You turning John Madden on me?
Well, coaches call a wham is when they'll motion either a split end or a tight end and bring him in. And he would actually be the trap man or the lead man on the play. And that time it was Al Chadwick.
I can still learn something. That's great. Tim Webb combined on the tackle that time with Jason Molina. Second down and a short 8. Michael Baldwin is the tailback right now. But Glenn wants to go to the air. And he won't get the chance. Pick out about 3 or 4 guys and you'll have the tackle there for Whittemore Prescott. Tom Tyson, 44, one of them.
Once again, Glenn dropping back in the pocket. He feels a little bit of pressure. He tries stepping out of it, but he gets pressured and he gets pulled down by Tyson. We'll get another look from the end zone here, Rick.
Rick Swanson, 42, the
right
first
here
to get him.
You see Mr. Tyson coming on the blitz. Someone gets a piece of him. He gets hit once, twice. And that's Rick Swanson who's pulling him down by the waist, and Tom Tyson's there to help clean up on it. There's a good look at Tom.
Martez Johnson back in at tailback on 3rd and long. Glenn will stay in the pocket. Over the middle, or at the sideline rather, incomplete. He was looking for his favorite receiver, Terrence Holland. And just the second time today that we'll see a punt from Terrence Holland. His first one was a big one.
That was a good defensive stand for Whittemore to start the second half. Gives them a little bit of momentum. Let's see if they can carry over to their offense. For DePorres, I'm sure Coach Carter is not pleased with 3 and out.
Holland to receive the punt. Lumison and Swanson back deep. Another good left foot strong kick, and Lumison takes it at the 26. Good coverage there, and 31 yards on the punt. And it's 1st and 10 for Prescott, trailing 14-0 here, early stages of the 3rd quarter.
Any words of wisdom, Coach Berkey? You were calling the plays in the first half. What do you think he's going to see in the second half from Whittemore? See your counter again, maybe?
You know, Lumison has rushed for over 300 yards this year. We have not had a chance really to see him. I don't know if they have an option in their arsenal, but I think we might see him a little bit more trying to get outside. They'll start up the middle with Tyson breaking tackles. And an ankle tackle by John Shackelford, the only thing that kept Tyson from rumbling out near the midfield stripe. As it is, it's a nice 8-yard pickup on first down.
Tyson's kind of a strange runner where it looks like you got him bottled up, but he is so thick through the upper body and legs, it's hard to get a grasp on some of these young men. And he comes out of piles. You'll see once again on the replay. Everything's jammed up in the middle. He bounces it outside, keeps his legs going, and a great open field tackle by John Shackelford.
There's a look at the all-time leading rusher in the history of Michigan high school football. And 55 hard-earned yards today for Mr. Tyson, who's going to get stacked up there right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and a yard for the Cardinals. That time, Ed Leggins, a sophomore, made the hit.
DePores is starting to line up in some gaps around the center, and they're starting to shoot their defensive tackles and getting penetration and gets to Tyson before he can get going.
It's actually closer to 1.5 yards on this third down for the Cardinals. Good crowd from the Whittemore Prescott area, up in the mitten of Michigan, we're told it's called. See if they stay with Tyson. They do. And he delivers the first down. Good block on the right side of the line that time for the Cardinals, who get, at least from a momentum standpoint, a very important first down here.
I'll tell you what, there wasn't a lot there. That was a lot of effort by Tom Tyson. Here's isolation on Tom. He gets the ball, gets hit at the line, keeps his legs going, shows some good strength, and powers his way to a first down before Courtney Benton could bring him down.
Charles Pemberton helped him as well, but it's 1st and 10. Got that big lineman in the backfield as they send Swanson in motion. They'll stay with their money man, and Tyson spins away from trouble and picks up another 3.
Once again, Rick, it looks like Thomas stopped at line, but he's able to spin out of the pile and pick up a couple 3 yards. DePores is doing, here's a look at it. DePores is doing a great job of penetrating. They're just not wrapping up, and a big back like that, 250-pound back, you better wrap him up and stay wrapped, or he's going to keep dragging you down the field.
I mentioned the good crowd down here from Whittemore Prescott yesterday. On the first day of finals, 39,000 plus came to the Silverdome, the highest single day ever since they went to 8 classes. Trying to get outside was Lumison, and he was tripped up. I don't know if it was his own man or if somebody got a hand on his ankle. I thought he might have caught the foot of one of his line.
I think you see some penetration up in the corner of your screen from it's 88 and 58. Howard Jenkins get penetration, but you're right. What did he trip on, Rick? I was looking at Mr. Jenkins.
It was the offensive lineman knocked backwards into him.
Yeah. I don't know. It might have just been the turf. Sometimes when you say there's a sniper in this building, the turf gets you.
3rd and 10. Let's see if Lumison puts it up. Oh, he drops the snap. Can't find it, and the Eagles have it. Coming up with the football for DePores. Not sure who it was. It might have been John Shackelford, number 8, but either that or Brian Bogus, and I think it was Bogus.
Here it is, the exchange. I don't think Lumison ever gets the ball. He starts to pull out with it. He fumbles it. It gets kicked up ahead by the knee of Tyson. And I'm not sure, except for Lumison, if any of the Whittemore players knew the ball was free.
Just kicking our line, but
it comes right through the line, and they just fall on the ball. And once again, DePores will start with a short field.
Once it came across the line of scrimmage, there was nothing but white shirts. Trying to get to the outside is Johnson, finally corralled over near the 37-yard line by Tom Tyson and Lumison.
Here it is, just a power sweep, 2 lead blockers. It's bounced outside. And we're seeing the good acceleration by John Shackelford. And here you see number 44, Tom Tyson. For a man of 250 pounds, that young man could really run. He's going sideline to sideline. You got to remember, he already has about 15, 16 carries as the fullback. There's a picture of Tom.
Second down and 5. Breaking a tackle is Michael Baldwin. How Michael Baldwin stayed on his feet, I have no idea. He's a yard shy of the first down, but goodness gracious, the junior Michael Baldwin took a huge pop and somehow stayed on his feet.
Here in the replay, you'll see Tyson, 44, fill the hole. There's no one to block him, and he steps up and wham. And what balance by Shackelford to keep his feet. Or I'm sorry, Baldwin, for Michael Baldwin to keep his feet and pick up extra 3 yards, because he was smacked.
Third down and a yard. Boy, I don't know. Very, very close to the first down. I think we're going to have our first measurement. Martez Johnson, the sophomore, lunged forward at the end, and that second effort might have gotten the first down, but
our spotters are shaking their heads no. The officials are taking a good look.
Well, I think they are going to have to bring the chains in, and they will.
You going to bet any money on this measurement here, Rick? What do you think?
I think it's a bashful bunny. I think he's a hair shy.
Oh. I think you got it. But I can't see that far, so I'm just guessing. I got a 50-50
Of course,
chance.
well, you're a little older than I am, Rob, so that eyesight's the first to go. Let's check it out.
And you looks like you're right.
The bashful bunny.
Bashful bunny it was.
It'll be fourth down, and I'm sure DePorce will go for it here.
Here's the look. Glenn handing off to Martez Johnson, and just after, look at the effort, straining to get it, and the Whittemore defense trying not to let him, but they held him up for about 4th and inches.
Well, let's see if Kevin Glenn, the quarterback, tries to take advantage of his junior center, Craig Jackson, and just hope that Jackson can get just a little penetration defensively and keep it on the sneak. They're resetting the chains right now. If they do not try the quarterback sneak, I'm sure Byron Glaspie will get the football. He's the up back in that short I formation here. And here's a flag. Did they take too long, Rob? Oh my goodness.
I don't think so. Not where the flag came from. It came from this line judge. I think it was legal procedure.
I did not catch what it was, but goodness, from 4th and inches to 4th and 5.
Well, it could turn out to be a big break for Whittemore if they can hold him here on this 4th and 5. I think we'll see a little procedure by the right guard. You'll see a little wiggle. Just a little bit.
Just before that happened, we saw Kevin Glenn motion over to his wideout. I wonder if they didn't also possibly not have enough men on the line, or in any case, it is 4th and 5, and I would look for DePorce maybe to try to get Glenn outside again and utilize that speed. Design bootleg, perhaps. Let's see what happens. 4th and 5. The Whittemore Prescott crowd on its feet. Out to the big man, incomplete. Good coverage over there by Swanson. And that was a huge stand for the defense of Whittemore Prescott.
Yeah, the biggest play of the little drive was the penalty, which put him in a 4th and 5 in a passing situation. You'll see Glenn dropping back. They bring Glaspie from the fullback position into the flat. There's a little half roll. But even if he catches this ball, it's defended extremely well by Swanson.
Good point, Rob. Yeah, he's still a few yards short of the first down because of that fine open field play by junior Rick Swanson. Again, remember, he's coming back next year, as Tyson did from last year. And with all these underclassmen, Whittemore Prescott will, and they'll get a little motion up front here with 3:35 to go in our third quarter.
Yeah, the right guard for Whittemore moves, but it doesn't matter because the defense had already jumped across the line. And in high school, once you break the play, and there's no getting back. I think the defensive left tackle breaks the play, and you'll see in the bottom or in the middle of your screen here, the left side of the defensive line jumps before you get the wiggle by the left guard.
Well, the momentum was certainly on the side of DeForest in the first half, but right now it's at a transition stage, Rob, I believe. Just nobody has control of momentum. It's just waiting to be grabbed.
Whittemore needs a drive. They need to get some points on the board.
They stagger the count again and almost draw him off. Tyson gets the first down the old-fashioned way. He earned it.
Well, you're just talking about momentum. You listen to the Whittemore crowd, and I think they feel right now that they got a little bit of it on their side. It's just a quick hitter to Tyson, right between the guard center gap.
Edgar Biddles finally brought him down, but not till it's another first down for Tyson. And the Cardinals trailing by a couple of scores here, but they're out at the midfield stripe. Tyson again.
Wow.
Drives for 6.
Wow. Hey, Rick, now we're up a little bit here from this position, and you can absolutely hear the pads crunching down on the field. DePore's just really sticking Tyson here, and he's giving it back to him. As you see him dragging number 25, Byron Bogus, before getting some help from his defensive buddies, Edgar Biddles and Mr. Pembron.
Got a Eagle shaken up a little bit here. Ed Leggins, he's a sophomore, and he's hobbling off to the bench.
How would you like to be their second team defense in practice tackling Tyson all day? I don't think they probably go live a lot. He'd run out of bodies.
2nd and 4. Let's hope that Ed Leggins can return to the action a little bit later on. We get a look. Tyson starts to approach the century mark. Swanson in motion left, but they stay with Tyson, and this time the Eagle defense says,
I see 6 white shirts getting off the pile. That's just great team pursuit, great team defense.
Sophomore Joe Hightower, number 24, led the surge that time for the Eagles.
You see him get into the gaps quick, and as soon as Tyson gets the ball, he's getting hit, and he can't get going. And that's the key to stopping a big back like that, is get him before he can get his momentum going.
Big third down play now for the Cardinals. 1:46 to go in the third quarter.
We haven't seen your counter in a while.
Swanson, the deep back, and nowhere to go for Rick Swanson that time. Clarence Sheldon Jr., who's a senior, made the tackle.
When you hesitate, as Rick Swanson did that last play, there's just a good look at Willie, against a team with this type of speed when you're trying to get wide. Here it is, drive the power eye. It's a deep handoff. It's actually designed, I think, to go off tackle, because that's a kick-out block by Cunningham. But when you can't, you absolutely got to hit the hole because of the team's speed and defense. They're going to run you down, and they're going to start attacking you as you try to go wide. There's nothing there, and he actually lost a couple on the play.
So 4th and 7. Russ Wilson is back. I'd be a little suspicious if I were DeForest, and they were initially. Now they drop Shackelford and Hill back. Good snap. High kick, not real deep, and grabbed on the fly at the 17 and run out of bounds there. John Shackelford bumped out by Craig Lumison.
I don't know if John knows what fair catch means. That time Lumison was right in his face. He still decided to catch it. When you have that type of return speed and ability, I'm sure the coach doesn't encourage him to fair catch it either.
He and Hill both not only outstanding return men, but as you said, they like to take chances. 1st and 10 now for the Eagles, trying to use some of that clock. Just 35 seconds plus a quarter left in this Class Double C finale. Johnson, the deep tailback, and spins away from one man, but there's plenty of help.
I think it was Jason Molina, number 66, was out there along with Tim Webb and a host of Whittemore Prescott defenders. That time, Whittemore shows a little bit of their defensive speed. Here it is. It's just a little, looks like off tackle that goes wide. Gillespie leading around the end, or Glaspie leading around the end. And Whittemore's defense was ready for the challenge as Jason Molina was the first one there to make the play.
That'll end our third quarter. Still 14-0. Detroit St. Martin de Porres leads Whittemore Prescott. Back with the fourth quarter, and you're watching the MHSAA on Pass. We'll start the fourth quarter. Detroit St. Martin de Porres with the football and the 14-0 lead. Second and long here. Well, one thing that I would think the Whittemore Prescott defense has done pretty well today, Rob, is they've held Martez Johnson and Michael Baldwin, the talented tailbacks, fairly well in check.
Been impressed by both defenses today.
Quick flare out over on the flat. Breaking a couple tackles is Terriman Johnson. Johnson, who made a key catch in the second quarter that led to a touchdown. A nice pickup there. It'll be third down and about 3.
Terriman just runs a little bit, a curl outside, and the ball is well delivered by Glenn. We don't have any, we're not privy to any heights and weights on de Porres, but looking at Terriman from up here, he looks like he's got to be all of 6'3" and maybe even taller as a tight end. And he looks like he's going to put on some pounds and be quite a player.
Short 3 for the first down. Kevin Glenn looks over the defense. Going to put it up. And incomplete. Just a little quick slant in, looking for Terrence Holland.
This time they ran the slant with the split end, and they ran the slot or wing receiver on a little bit of a flat. And it was well covered by Prescott. Here it is. He fakes the takeoff. He comes underneath. The ball is a little bit underthrown, as you see Al Chadwick running the flat.
Holland to punt.
He's short a few bodies.
And a timeout. You mentioned the confusion. But we'll take a break and come back with the fourth quarter, what's left of it. One of your sponsors is, again, Farm Bureau Insurance.
Whether they live on the farm, in the country, the suburbs, or downtown, Farm Bureau Insurance serves them all. Life, home, retirement, auto, business.
We're making your future more predictable. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Farm Bureau Insurance.
At True Value, we've got all the decorations and gifts you'll need to get your home ready for the holidays. And anything else that might help.
Santa!
Give this Black & Decker Snake Light flashlight for just $24.88. It's the perfect hands-free work light. True Value. Christmas is just around the corner.
After the timeout, Terrence Holland, who punted away. Lumison and Swanson deep. Good snap. High kick, not as far, but very high, and the fair catch called for and made at the 39-yard line. Fine punt of 34 yards, and more importantly, from the DePorres standpoint, no return because of the height.
Yeah, that was excellent hang time. I guess it's 4.5 second hang time. And Lumison did a nice job just fair catching the ball. And in a situation like that, especially on a turf field, Rick, if you don't get the fair catch, if you don't catch it, you're going to lose another 15, 20 yards on the bounce.
Videotapes of this year's MHSAA football finals are available for purchase through Advanced Video Service in Columbiaville. Each game is $24 and may be ordered by writing Advanced Video Service, 5547 Columbiaville Road, Columbiaville, 48421. Allow 2 to 4 weeks for delivery. Well, you see the total yards, still a big advantage for the Eagles. And Lumison goes to the air, and it's caught for the first down. Tim Webb, senior tight end.
Well, Rick, just before this play, Steve Warner, our spotter, or my spotter, and myself were talking, and we said that right here, all they need to do is fake it to Tyson and throw the pop pass to the tight end, because the entire DePorres defense has seen Tyson get that same play about 20 times today, and they're biting up. As you see, the linebacker here is turning around trying to get back, but there's no way they can get back to cover, and the safety can't get there in time. I think he needs to do this just to loosen him up, get him to back off the ball, and play honest a little bit.
On the first down off the pass, they stay with Tyson. He's knocked down after a short game with a 2-touchdown lead for DePorres. They have to still keep an eye on Tyson, despite the fact you want to look for the pass, but Tyson a threat to break at any time. A good job by Willie Bargenier and friends staying home on number 44. Mo Sears is split out wide to the left at the bottom of your screen. And some movement will mean 5.
I believe that time it was against Whittemore. The offensive tackle and guard both left a little bit early. And this is tough, once again, when you're a team, that's a 3 to 4 yard a run team, Rick. When you get a couple on first down, now all of a sudden you're looking at 2nd and 12 or 13. That puts you in the hole because you're limited what you're doing right now in this game offensively. And it's going to be hard for them to pick up 12, 13 yards in 3 downs. Or 2 downs, actually.
Just under 10 minutes to play here in this fourth quarter. And this time, Whittemore Prescott asks for time. A little confusion there offensively. We'll take a break here at the Pontiac Silverdome. One of your sponsors is True Value Hardware.
At True Value, we've got all the decorations and gifts you'll need to get your home ready for the holidays. And anything else that might help.
Santa!
This thermos quart steel bottle with bonus tape rule is only $18.99, or the Chicago Cutlery gift set just $9.99. True Value. Christmas is just around the corner.
Blindfold, monsieur?
No.
Cigarette?
No.
What do you want on your tombstone?
Pepperoni and cheese.
Tombstone pizza, Pierre! What do you want on your tombstone? Real meat, real cheese. Much better tasting than pizzas made with imitation cheese. So what do you want on your tombstone?
Napkin?
No.
Each team has had to use a timeout because of some confusion in their lineup here in the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 13 for Whittemore Prescott here with 9:37 showing in the fourth quarter. Lumison will keep, and we get to see a little bit of that ability to run the football from Craig Lumison, number 1. Averaged 9 yards per carry this year and scored 6 touchdowns on the ground.
That was a nice job by Lumison. He gets forced out of the pocket, but really makes the play and enables him to pick up some extra yards. Right there, he makes a nice move to get outside. What makes the play here, Rick, is when he approaches the line of scrimmage, he gets a little pump fake right there, which freezes the defender. I think that was Willie Bargenier. He freezes Willie for a second, enables him to get up the field, pick up a few more yards. Now it sets up a manageable play for Whittemore in their offense, a 3rd and 3.
Look for number 44 to keep it. He does. And he plows hard, but he's going to be a little bit short of that first down. It'll be 4th down and 1.
But at this stage, it doesn't matter as much because I believe he would go for it no matter what, with only 9 minutes remaining in the game, down by 14, and having a ball control offense. They're not a quick strike offense, Rick. They don't have the capability of throwing the 40-yard pass or a quick touchdown. So you're going to see him go for it here. He sends Wilson in.
Also checking in Jason Richardson into the lineup, 55.
I think if I was DePores here, I'd have 11 guys tackle 44.
On the quarterback sneak, Craig Lumison follows his center, Tony Morley, and he gets the first down inside the 40.
Rick, if I'm wrong anymore today, I'm going to start coaching golf. You know, look at this. They do a quarterback sneak, which is a good call because I think maybe DePores was thinking like I was that 44, you know, the horse was going to get the ball. Instead, they do a little bit of a sneak. He gets over his left guard and does a nice job, picks up the first down.
Whittemore Prescott has already exceeded the total of offense they had in the first half, and we've got more than half of this 4th quarter to play. They're down by a couple of touchdowns, though. And I believe this will be a procedure penalty.
I missed this one. It looked like when Swanson went in motion, they blew their whistle, unless someone's head leaned across the line, maybe on the nose.
Yeah, probably lined up in the neutral zone.
Well, I don't think he lined up because they would have blown the whistle a little bit earlier. But I think when the guy went in motion, maybe it drew the defense, leaned forward a little bit, and got into broke the plane.
Well, you see Whittemore Prescott gotten the better of it in the penalty department, but they'll stay with Tyson for a few hard-earned yards on 1st and 5. Then he lunges forward for some second effort. Wow.
I think the crowd was a little bit disappointed because the whistle blew, but you have to remember the officials, the #1 concern is the health of these young men, and it looked like Tyson was tied up, and they blew the whistle, and it was a good job by the officials. Like I said, the health and safety of these young men, and they don't want anyone coming in late and getting a hit on them.
Joe Hightower is shaken up on the play for St. Martin de Porres. They will attend to Joe. This telecast is a copyrighted production of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Pass Sports. No reproduction of the pictures or accounts of this game may take place without the express written permission of the MHSAA and Pass. You know, Whittemore Prescott has really turned some things around. In fact, in 1991, they canceled their season short, actually called off the season for their final game. From that point on, they have certainly gone nothing but upwards with a 4-5 record in 92, then 7-2, 11-1, this year 12-0. Joe Hightower, good sportsmanship by both sides of the stadium crowd here.
That's nice to see. I see nothing but a sea of red below me, standing and cheering as Joe Hightower gets escorted off the field by the trainers. That's what high school football is about, Rick. You know, the fans come to cheer on their teams. The most important thing is that the kids enjoy themselves, that they have fun, they're competitive, and everyone goes home healthy.
Second down and 2. Whittemore Prescott trying to stay in this one. Tyson, the deep back, will take the handoff. And I believe he has enough for a first down. That'll stop the clock momentarily. Willie Bargenier brought him down, but it is another first down. The chains keep moving. And this large throng of Whittemore Prescott fans below us have been waiting to explode. You can see they're looking for that score that'll help them erupt, but the Eagles defense has been really the story so far today. Rick Swanson off the right side will get about 3, but at this situation...
Yeah, that's a real positive play for Whittemore. Getting 3 yards on first down. Here it is. This time they fake to Tyson. They give to Swanson. They pull the left guard Cunningham. That's a real fine play because it gets you 3 downs, 3 yards. It puts you in 2nd and 7, but you're in 4-down territory, so you have basically 3 downs to pick up 7 yards. There's Rick's stats: 10 carries for 14 yards. He had a couple, a fumble earlier and a loss of about 7 or 8 yards that kind of warps those statistics a little bit.
On 2nd down, Tyson tries to drag a man with him. He carried Clarence Sheldon Jr. with him for about 3 or 4 yards. Clarence was hanging on for dear life. It'll be 3rd and 4 with 5:51 to go here in this Class CC Championship.
He has a tremendous balance and strength, and that time he got him by the shirt in the backfield, but he was still able to get outside, bounce and pick up 3 yards, sets up a 3rd down and 4.
Two wideouts to the right, Mo Sears and Jared Michael Isaac. They keep it on the ground with Swanson, and he's not going to get anything. It'll bring up 4th down, maybe a half-yard gain. That time, Courtney Benton, and we've called his name a lot. A big hit for the Eagles D, and it'll be 4th down and about 3.
Well, the last play, they put Tyson in motion. They motion him out to the left, hoping to draw the defense, maybe think that there's going to be a pass to him down the sideline. And they come back with Swanson to the right, but there was nothing there. Tremendous play by Benton and his teammates.
Timeout called by Whittemore Prescott. 4:58 showing in this one. You know, one of the teams participating in the 1995 MHSAA football finals will be selected as the recipient of the Good Sports Are Winners Award. The most sportsmanlike team and its followers will be honored with a commemorative banner, crystal trophy, and a $1,000 donation from True Value Hardware Stores, which sponsors the MHSAA's year-round sportsmanship efforts. Belding was the winners of the Good Sports Are Winners Award at the '94 finals. Terrific program and True Value Hardware sponsorship. They do that in all the tournament events year-round. Just great to see that the sportsmanship of the fans as well as the players able to be recognized in a positive light. I said 4th and 3, it's closer to 4th and 4, and 4:58 to go. I'm not sure Whittemore Prescott, Rob, can afford to just stick it in the hands of number 44 here.
No, they need a 1st down here. Also going to have to depend on DePorres turning the ball over. They need to get a 1st down here and get a score. There's only 4:58, almost 5 minutes remaining. And being a 3 to 4 yard a gain pound offense, they absolutely need a 1st down here.
How about that little pop pass to Tim Webb, possibly? Over the middle, caught for the 1st down. 1st and goal. Sean Grote, the junior, from the left tight end position, bumped down by Edgar Biddles. But well, Sean Grote.
I'll tell you what, Rick, you may call Tim Webb's number, but they go the other way to Sean Grote. Ball's delivered right on the money. And I tell you what, that's a gutsy call by Coach Tobin. Well executed by the Whittemore Prescott Cardinals. There it is, fake there. You think he's getting a look at the DePorres defenders. Wide open in the seam. Coach Berkey.
Sean has caught just 3 passes coming into the game all year, but that 4th one was a biggie.
Coach Berkey is on his game today.
1st and goal. This is Tyson. Stood up at the 1. Now this is important that they don't, you know, from the DePorres standpoint, if they can hold them out a couple plays, even if they do score, that'll help them.
Right. Here it is. Tyson's coming out of the game.
He might be hurt. He's holding that right hand. Or the shoulder.
He gets stood up by number 41, Glaspie. You got a whole new unit coming in. Well, 4 or 5 substitutions for Whittemore. Maybe they have an elephant backfield. Let's see what they have back there.
Well, they do have a trunk on the sideline.
There's 55 in the backfield for Whittemore.
Second and goal from 1. Quarterback sneak. Touchdown, Cardinals.
Let's watch right in here. Let's watch the push. A great push by the center and the 2 guards for Whittemore. Look at the ball move. Look at that. That is actually, that'll tell you what, that's why people coach when they get to see their offensive line do that. Once again, right through the middle. Lamison get behind Tony Morley, and Wilson is right guard and just follows him in for a touchdown. Whittemore going for 2.
14-6 now. And Tyson is back in the lineup. Swanson goes in motion. Lumison tipped and incomplete. He was looking for Mo Sears.
Well defended by Edgar Biddles. There's a look at Edgar, did a nice job. They tried to get the back out of the backfield, but Edgar was sitting there waiting for him. Knocks it down. Now Whittemore is still down 8 points. Here's a look at the replay. A little play action roll out by Lumison. Trying to get it to Webb, but Biddles was there to knock it down. But this does now, Rick, at a 14-6. Once again, here's another look. Webb was open just for a second, but good speed by Biddles. Nice break on the ball. Knocks it down and keeps it an 8-point game, which means Whittemore not only needs a touchdown, but a 2-point conversion to tie. With the type of offense they have, I'm looking at onside kick, Rick. I want you to call it, because if I say it, it'll be wrong. So what do you think?
I think they will onside. They've already used 1 timeout.
And I think we may see the hands team. We like to refer to as a hands team, as a coach will do when onside kick is upcoming. They'll do is take all their skill position players, receivers, running backs, and put them in the front line to receive the onside kick.
There's good news really almost for both teams. The good news for the Whittemore Prescott Cardinals, of course, they score their first touchdown. For DePorres, they did make him take 7.5 minutes off the clock in doing so, which forces the probable onside kick situation here.
Look at some of the numbers we have. 38, 45, 40, all receiver and running back numbers up front for DePorres.
They're expecting it. Lumison gives the signal. Let's see if they boot it away. No, Lumison tries the onside. It's high. They've got it. Making the recovery. Jared Michael Isaac. A perfect onside kick.
Looked like Eddie Murray himself. The ghost of Eddie Murray lives in the Silverdome. Let's get the first look. Right here, Lumison kicks it. 1, 2, now come up. That's what you want. It hops over the front line, enables you to get in behind the front line and recover the ball. Here's another look. 1, 2, and on the second hop, it goes high. That's exactly how you practice it and how you want it to happen. And they were there.
Jared Michael Isaac on a perfect kick from Craig Lumison. And the Cardinals get it back. Tyson knocked down at the line of scrimmage. They've got a little over 3 minutes to try to get into the end zone. Byron Glaspie, there's number 41.
DePorres better be looking for that tight end pop again, or the slot pop, because that seems to be the only effective pass plays that Whittemore's had today, where they'll fake to Tyson and try to throw it either way, either to Webb or to Grote. There's Tyson's in the ball game. There's a zooming in on him.
Wonder if he can throw a pass.
Well, he does everything else. Yeah. I don't see why he could.
He'd draw some traffic towards him if they handed him the ball, but you see the time of possession. He wants to go long, looking for Grote again. Tipped and intercepted. Picking it off is John Shackelford, knocked down at the 25. It was actually tipped twice. And Shackelford with a great reaction. It was a jump ball situation.
We see Lumison dropping back. I think, Rick, you can see the ball go off a foot here after it's been bobbled. You got a nice look here. Grote goes up, gets a hand on it right there. You see it hit the foot. And it enables, yes, it enables John Shackelford to come underneath. Grote made a great effort off the foot.
Clarence Sheldon Jr. got a foot on it.
Wow, what great camera work. Tremendous camera work by our crew. Whoa!
What a hit by Tyson.
I'm glad I'm up here. Oh,
44. Lowered the boom.
Look at this. As soon as Glenn hands off, that's two big men hitting too. Hello. Now you want to dance. Look at this. Wow.
Hey, we're impressed. We're talking about the hit, but how about Byron Glaspie holding on to the football there? He barely had it in his possession.
Holding on to his good sense. I mean, Tyson was blitzing. No one touched him. When Glaspie got the ball, he was looking to get the ball, and he got Tyson. He got more than the ball.
That's the second timeout of the game called by Whittemore Prescott with 1:51 left in this one. A recent survey by Michigan State University found that the primary reason kids play high school sports is to have fun. However, some kids miss out on the fun and experiences learned in educational athletics because of lack of coaches and officials. Devoting time to kids in your community by becoming a school coach or game official can help youngsters grow and teach them valuable lifetime values. You can make a difference. For more information, contact the Michigan High School Athletic Association office in East Lansing or your local school athletic director.
Wow. I tell you what, Rick. You're not going to see many harder hits than that. And like you pointed out, not only was it a great play by Tyson with delivering a tremendous blow, how about Glaspie able to hang on to the ball? If he turns that ball over, a fumble, look at Whittemore's going to get on the 20-yard line.
On second down, they'll keep it on the ground. Another hit. Scoreboard says that Whittemore Prescott has one more timeout left.
I would have used it there. I don't know, Coach maybe wants to save to have it on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe.
Well, I think you call it after this one, and
well, yeah. The thing is, if they throw an incomplete pass, you still have one in the bank. Just look at Baldwin walking off.
I don't think he's going to put it in the air myself.
Well, I wouldn't think so, but you never know.
That's right. Martez Johnson behind Byron Glaspie. And they took a little too long, but that's not all bad here, Rob, if you're DePorres, because 5 yards, sure, that's not good to give them 5 more yards, but that means they used up the entire play clock before the penalty was called.
Yep. They want to take every second off the clock. First down is not really on their mind right now. They had a 3rd and 12. You're probably going to see a running play like you said, Rick. So what they're looking more at is taking every possible second off the clock.
1:12 to go. Whittemore Prescott on defense, hoping to get their hands on the football one last time. Boy, he's going to put it in the air. Incomplete.
I tell you, you never know what you're going to get. Well, that sure helps Whittemore out. I got to believe Coach Carter's thinking is, if I get a first down, I don't care if they have how many timeouts because it's done. They're going to be able to ice the ball. So you're trying to, really put them out of, or put the final nail in their coffin right there. But getting a first down, what it does in essence is gives Whittemore, it stops the clock and saves Whittemore one timeout. You come after the kick here or not, Rick?
Well, they had sent 2 men back every time except for this time, so maybe they will be coming after the punter. Terrence Holland, the punter. There's the snap. And gets a good left foot into it. Hits near the midfield stripe, and Lumison goes after it and then has to jump back.
Remember I talked about earlier about catching the ball.
44 yards.
Saves you 10 or 15 yards, especially on the turf. Now he better hurry up because when the ball is spotted in high school, they're going to start the clock.
I see this happen consistently in high school football where they don't realize that they're going to start the clock as soon as they set the ball.
And there it goes. That's Watts. It was at 55.
And by the time they snap it, over 10 seconds will have gone off the clock. Lumison will roll right. Nice grab out there by Tim Webb, but it's short of the first down, and the clock will continue to go. Well, apparently the scoreboard is wrong because I think they'd use the timeout here if they didn't, if it was correct. And they down the ball to stop it with 19 seconds showing.
Yeah, I hear Coach Toe. I'm kind of picking him up a little bit through my headset. And they're saying he better call 2 plays. Here it is. Lumison thrown out. Excellent catch by Tim Webb.
Second catch of the game for Tim Webb, the outstanding student athlete.
There's a look at Lumison getting ready.
Here's a look at number 80 with that 3.85 grade point average and cornerstone on defense. Here we go, trips left.
21's in that quarterback, Rick. In the game earlier, he throws a longer ball, I think, than Lumison. They need someone to get it down the field.
This is Sean Grote looking for the tip, but it's picked off. This is Terrence Holland.
He should go down so he doesn't fumble.
He laterals it. And boy, a dangerous move there.
Yeah,
Holland picked it off and then lateraled it to Brian Bogus.
You know, it was a fine defensive play, but it wasn't a wise play after. In that situation, the best thing a coach likes to see his player do is go down and the game's over. If you try to return the ball and you get a fumble, they can pick it up and run it back in. But a nice defensive play.
Well, Grote's job was to get it down there as far as he could, but they had it defensed almost perfectly.
You see, there's Terrence Holland. He was the deepest of the three defenders. Now, right now, I think Terrence, as he matures a little bit, plays a little bit more football, he realized that he needs to go down on the ground.
The clock starts, and this one's in the books. The Eagles of Detroit St. Martin de Porres have won the Class Double C Championship and an exciting finish over Whittemore Prescott. Stay with us. You're watching the MHSAA on Pass. Detroit St. Martin de Porres has won the Class Double C crown, an exciting game with a victory over Whittemore Prescott. Now let's go down to the field for the awards ceremony.
Johnson, athletic director of Bangor High School, a member of the Michigan High School Athletic Association Representative Council, will make the trophy presentation to the 1995 Class Double C runner-up, the Cardinals of Whittemore Prescott High School. Accepting the runner-up trophy, Coach Kyle Tobin. Our congratulations to the Cardinals of Whittemore Prescott High School for an outstanding season. And now, Mr. Norm Johnson will present the Class Double C Championship Trophy to the Eagles of Detroit St. Martin de Porres High School. Accepting the championship trophy is Coach Gregory Carter. Congratulations to the Eagles of Detroit St. Martin de Porres High School, the 1995 Class Double C football champions.
The Eagles of Detroit St. Martin de Porres celebrate a state record 9th state championship in football, their first since 1992. Coach Carter and the Eagles, well-deserved recipients of that honor. Stay with us. One of your sponsors is Farm Bureau Insurance.
Whether they live on the farm, in the country, the suburbs, or downtown, Farm Bureau Insurance serves them all. Life, home, retirement, auto, business.
We're making your future more predictable. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Farm Bureau Insurance.
Come home to the Hilton Suites of Auburn Hills and enjoy the peaceful, quiet elegance and the warmth of our cozy lobby. You'll feel right at home within the confines of a large living room, a separate bedroom with a king-size bed, plus other comfortable amenities. Be it business or pleasure, come home to the Hilton Suites of Auburn Hills, located across from the Pontiac Silverdome.
Hey! You stink! 16, you stink! You moron! What? You play like a bunch of jerks. What? Wanna watch that? Hey! Hey! Nice stinking work.
Would you act like this at a high school game? If you were the only fan in the stands,
Nice way to play. That's beautiful.
next time, pretend you are.
Satisfaction guaranteed. That's what you get when you stay at the Drury Inn, home of the free quick start breakfast, pastries, coffee, juices, and more. At Drury Inn, your comfort is important. That's why we offer a variety of amenities. We're your home away from home. Conveniently located near the action of the Pontiac Silverdome and the Palace of Auburn Hills, the Drury Inn welcomes the MHSAA 1994 football finals. The Drury Inn, you expect satisfaction and you get it. Presented by Farm Bureau Insurance, proud sponsor of the MHSAA Scholar Athlete Award. By True Value Hardware, promoting good sportsmanship through the Good Sports Are Winners program. And by Tombstone Pizza.
St. Martin de Forest wins the Class CC crown. An exciting game and a wild finish. Who can forget that tipped interception off the foot of the defensive back for Detroit St. Martin de Forest. But Rob Rubik, not only have they won 9 state championships now as we look at the final numbers, but in 3 different classes, single D, single C, and now double C.
They're kind of like the Tommy Hearns of Detroit, aren't they? He's got more belts and more divisions. But I think the big stat that stands out right here, Rick, right, look at that. That's defense. 140 yards for De Porres, 118 yards. I think if you had told Coach Tobin that he could hold St. Martin de Porres to 140 yards offense, that he'd be confident he'd win. But I don't think he realized what type of defense he was coming up against.
Remember now, these are clubs that are used to moving the ball consistently on offense. And for each of the defenses to hold them to under 70 yards each, a real credit to both of the Ds on this squad. And very well played game, I thought.
Yeah, and the time of possession stat, look at 31 minutes for Whittemore and 16 for De Porres. Well, we suspected that with De Porres' quick strike ability on offense, that they wouldn't possess the ball as long as Whittemore would.
You know, you got to feel good for Coach Greg Carter. He was a part of some of those earlier teams with Coach Ron Thompson, who unfortunately passed away. But now the program is his, and a lot of folks don't realize that when you go into a program that's had great success, it's just as hard to keep that thing going as it is to start up a new one.
Ask Gary Moeller. You know, and now you talk with Lloyd Carr, how tough it is filling Bo Schembechler's shoes. And they don't come in trying to fill them. And I'm sure Coach Carter didn't come in trying to fill Coach Thompson's shoes. All he's trying to do is start his own team and get his name in there, get his kids to play in his program. Coach Thompson did a great job building the program. Now he's just trying to get his going along with it and carry it on a little bit.
As many as 5 underclassmen as we saw, who knows? One or both could make it back to the Dome next year.
Boy, they had a lot of speed, a lot of young kids too, like you said, freshmen and sophomore. Al Chadwick, freshman, and Glenn, the quarterback, and they're going to be back.
Great working with you again, partner.
You too, Rick.
We'll do it again next year. And that's going to do it here from the Pontiac Silverdome. Our coverage of the 1995 MHSAA football finals concludes here on Passports. Next, with the Class CC title bout between East Grand Rapids and Allen Park. Stay tuned to join John Matlack and Ray Bentley for the call of that contest as the best in high school championship sports coverage continues here on Pass. Your Class CC champion is Detroit St. Martin de Forest, a 14-6 winner over Whittemore Prescott. Now for Rob Rubik and our production crew from the TCI Cable of Copeland County, I'm Rick Berkey. So long, everybody.